Irv Strohecker and Lee Blows and Betty Conway, they were always looking for things to, I'm assuming, to generate revenue for people coming to the football games. So anything that they could, buy, print, resell, they would do. So when he was doing these cushions, I thought it was just like you said, a once and done thing. This would get printed, they would sell them, and then that was it. So 7th grade, my art school teacher at Feeser Junior High was Mr. Anderson, and obviously he saw some talent that I had, and he was the one that really pushed me into art and suggested my 7th grade year that I submit a drawing in this Scholastic Art Awards event, which I ended up doing and ended up winning. So that kind of probably solidified me wanting to maybe pursue art in some form, fashion, whatever. I wasn't too sure what that meant, but it seemed like, all right, this seems like something I could do. At 7th grade, which is astronomical thinking at that age. And I think on the coattails of winning that award is when my mom, Bonnie Harper, and Irv Strohecker, who was in charge of the athletics administration building, that he wanted to design a logo that he could get printed on these foam cushions that he could sell at football games for the parents and visitors to sit on. But he had an idea. He wanted to do a raider on a horse. So I was like, all right, I need something to look at. So as long as I had something to look at, I could sketch it. So I remember I had watched The Lone Ranger. Kind of reminded me of a maybe possible Raider reference I could use. And it had some comic books for that style. So it was like the line weight, the black and white line weight, and how that was colorized. That was going to be my style. And the tricky part was trying to find a horse running towards me. So my mom and we went down to the Middletown library. I looked for specifically horse racing books. So I was trying to find a picture that had horses obviously running towards you with the jockeys on top. And you could tell from what I was using as reference, it's a collage of a lot of different aspects put together. Looking back now, there's some things obviously I would love to tweak. If you look at the Raider sitting on the horse, because that was the reference I was using, it was a Lone Ranger, and it looks like he's probably going either for his lasso or his holster. Through my sketching, I had some renditions and doing a lot of erasing and all that, because this is before computers, right? So it's all tissue paper and #2 pencils. So I don't know if I fully comprehended the concept of what that could have been used on. When he was doing these cushions, I thought it was just like you said, a once and done thing. This would get printed, they would sell them, and then that was it. But I remember, once I got into high school, some of the literature that was handed out and things that represented the school, the black and white logo was on there. And I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize they were actually going to be using that for for everything, but they ended up doing it. Then it got to a point that it was colorized. That didn't take place until probably, I would say, my 9th or 10th year in high school, because like I said, I did a pencil sketch, and the print job for these cushions was one color. So it was just blue ink on a gold cushion. And then I think it just kind of expanded from that. It just kept getting reproduced on everything that was being printed and possibly sold. So yeah, now it's 20 feet tall on the outside of the building. So 10, 15 years ago, I should have realized what it was, and from a branding standpoint, and then come back to the school and offer to kind of redo it. just so it just didn't look like something that was sketched and redrawn back in 1980. So one thing that everybody brings up when they ask me about me doing this Middletown Area High School logo, it's like, oh yeah, you're the guy that did the three-legged horse. I was like, yeah, I know. I need to go back and put that fourth leg in. I remember a lot of the photographs that I had, and this is what I was saying a little earlier, when I was compositing, just looking and sketching, because I was looking at different horses, I didn't realize that maybe some of the shots, that one leg was out of the scene or hidden from one of the other legs. So my final sketch, because of what I was referencing, which is very important to have good reference, it ended up that whatever I was looking at, that leg was either hidden or not in that shot because the angle or whatever, maybe it was another horse, not sure. It's like I said, it was so long ago, but yeah, it's just one of those things that you look back and you don't think about it until somebody points that out, and you're like, oh yeah, you're right. There's only 3 legs on that horse. Yeah. So today, at my age, 55, I'd say about 5 years ago, I decided to start over. I was an art director at a design agency, and decided to start my own business. So now we do brand design and packaging for large companies. Junior high, and that's when I had Mr. Anderson as my art teacher, who started that whole lifespan of staying and sticking with art my entire life. Once I finalized my sketch as to how I thought it should look, I gave it to my mom, and she took it in to work with her and showed it to Stroh. And I don't know if he was joking at the time, but my mom came back and told me, he said, for every cushion he sells, he'll pay me 5 cents for doing that. So we're in 2023. I haven't seen a nickel of doing that sketch for him, but yeah, I mean, that's the history and the long of it from start to finish.